So James Harden and Ben Simmons both spoke with their new teams at the media day. We are going to break down the good, the bad, and the ugly from both interviews today on the Philly Talk podcast.
This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's our life. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and y'all already know it is the Philly Talk podcast. And today we're going to talk about James Harden, Ben Simmons, just to finally end it. We'll only talk about Ben Simmons going forward if he's coming to the Wells Fargo Center with the Brooklyn Nets to take on the Sixers, whether it's a regular season game or a playoff game. But before we get into today's topic, help your boy out and hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new and ding that notification bell so you know when these videos drop. This is the first question asked to James Harden. It's why did you want to leave Brooklyn? And why do you want to come to Philly? Listen to what he said here.
Did you want out of Brooklyn, and why did you want Philadelphia to be your destination?
Originally, when I was going through everything I was going through, in Houston, Philly was my first choice. It just didn't happen. So, but just detailed, I don't really want to get into, the Brooklyn situation. I just knew, for a very long time this was a perfect fit. And obviously you got a big man, the best big man in the league in Joel. And then obviously the coaching, just from top to bottom, it made sense. And I'm just happy and blessed that I'm here. And as Doc and everybody knows and everybody wants is to win and be the last team standing. So I'm excited for the opportunity.
Excited for the opportunity. Talked about Joel Embiid being the best big man. He knows it, and it is the truth. He is the front runner for MVP. But let's look at last year, right? Daryl Morey comes to the Sixers. James Harden wants out of Houston. He tries to get to the Sixers with Daryl Morey, but what does Houston do? They're upset that James Harden wants out. They're upset that Daryl Morey said he's going to retire, but then took the job in the front office as the president of operations for the Sixers. So I think Daryl Morey all along was like, I'm going to go to the Sixers. I'm going to get James Harden to pair up with Joel Embiid. And Houston had a vendetta against Morey and tried to make it not happen. Morey even offered Maxey, Thibault, picks, and Ben Simmons last year. It didn't work because of the vendetta, and now he gets them for a cheaper price. It's as simple as that. Harden wanted to come to Philly. Daryl Morey already came to Philly. It didn't work. He had to take a pit stop in Brooklyn, and he tried to make it work, but you got cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, Kyrie over there, and KD hurt, and he just said, it is what it is, right? This was the ultimate destination. He even spoke about his player option, which he's going to do. We all knew that. People try to play maybe he's not going to do it now, but he is. Now, the next question is about how Philly fans are and how his jersey was sold out. Listen to his response. It was beautiful.
Before you even were in Philadelphia, your jersey sold out at the arena in less than an hour. There was a billboard touting "Welcome the Beard." How has that reception made you feel, and how do you feel about playing in front of these fans?
These fans is probably the best fans in the NBA. A lot of teams say that, a lot of organizations say that, a lot of fan bases say that, but like ride or die, like probably the best fans in the NBA. And I'm just happy that they're on my side and I'm not getting booed as the opposing team. But I'm excited, man. It's just the love, the atmosphere, just, going to that arena, it's going to be something special.
Going to be something special. Two-man game is going to be so disgustingly good. Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, Shake Milton even off the bench. Matisse Thybulle's defense, George Niang knocking down threes from the corner, and the buyout market is still yet to see what we get, right? It does look like Paul Millsap is going to have some type of role. He spoke here too. We don't have none of his clips, but there's still big men out there, and there's still a point guard named Schroeder who I think will spice up this rotation as well. It is what it is. I just think that he can offer something as well, some depth. Who knows what can happen down the stretch. And I'm just ready to see how we do what we do. And James Harden is going to embrace that Sixers spirit, that Wells Fargo bumping crowd. He's going to. Last but not least, championship been floating around a lot throughout this interview. But listen what he said. He said, hell yeah, when it comes to a championship.
James, talked a lot about, we've heard the word championship being thrown around here for the last half hour. Pairing you and Joel, do you see that being possible? I'm sure you see that being possible this year.
Hell
What will
yeah.
it take to make it happen? Was that a hell yeah?
Hell yeah. There's a lot that goes into it. Obviously, it just doesn't happen overnight. But I think just here being around guys and they have the right mindset. Obviously, it's coming from the coaching staff. But after the break, man, it's go time. So as much as I can incorporate and figure things out fast, which I probably it won't be long. The better things will be. But I mean, it shouldn't take long at all. Like I pretty much can fit anywhere.
You're right. Your game can fit anywhere because you still get rebounds on the defensive side. You don't play great one-on-one defense, but you're swiping you around the ball. Now going to the offensive side, like I said multiple times, you need 15 plus assists. I got you. You need 35 plus points. I got you. You need a combination of 12 assists and 28 points. I got you. His game flows. He makes guards better, centers better, forwards better. And when you already got the best player in the NBA on your squad, no more double teaming him. No more double teaming Harden, right? Harden got double teamed with the Nets the majority of the season because Kyrie and KD are always in and out, out and in, out and in. So you got a guy who's been double teamed majority of his career playing with the biggest guy who gets double teamed. There's going to be wide open players, and his game, his floor, general ability to just pass the ball cross court in a snap of a thumb is going to pay dividends for the Sixers. Now, let's go over to what's his name? Ben Simmons. This is the first thing he said when asked about what was he asked here? Oh, just in general about Philadelphia and him ever playing again and blah blah blah.
And made up, and until you were out of Philadelphia, you were definitely not going to play again.
For me, it was just making sure mentally I was right to get out there and play again. So that's something I've been, dealing with. And it wasn't about the fans or coaches or comments made by anybody. It was just a personal thing for me. That was earlier than, that series or even that season that I was dealing with. And that organization knew that. So it was something that, I continue to deal with, and, I'm getting there and getting to the right place to, get back on the floor.
To me, I don't believe it, right? If it was really that, that big of a deal, right? If that was going on prior to the playoff series, talking about in the regular season, why didn't he open up about it, right? And why did it take so long and money had to be mentioned and blah, 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 blah for it to be mentioned? That's all I'm saying, right? This type of press conference after the series versus the Hawks would have been, important in just the general consensus of what is this guy doing? Because my biggest thing was he just quit. He just quit. Lane Johnson had mental illness. Calvin Ridley, they came out and legitly said something, and they spoke face to face the camera, the media. They talked about it. He just disappeared. And then they had his camp in, Clutch Sports just spewing out left and right. It's the fans. It's Joel. It's Doc. It's this. It's that. Just so much finger pointing going on. I can't fathom it. So let's listen to the next one.
Just again, with all that source reporting around what was going on with you, I guess just for Sixers fans, like, did you feel like you couldn't get back to the place where you wanted to be in Philadelphia? And was that part of the reason you asked for a trade? I guess, could you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, I think that was part of it. I think, I just wasn't in the place there to do that. And a lot of things had happened over that summer to where I didn't feel like I was getting that help. But it is what it is. I don't have wasn't a personal thing towards, any player or coach or, owners or anything like that. was about myself, getting to a place where, I need to be.
Well, there
My
he goes with saying a little bit deeper that, he brought the summer involved. And that's where I think everything came to fruition. Maybe he did have, off court things in his head and whatnot. But the general lack of accountability, like you were going through stuff. I understand that. But when you were doing good, you were able to say, you see, I went down and locked up Trey Young. I went down and got 15 assists. All we ask you to do is just take accountability for the lack of offense that was presented in that series and let us know that you're going to get better, like Tobias Harris does, like Danny Green does. It is what it is. It's just the fact that you want to show the team that supports you, and fans were supporting them all the way through the middle of the Hawks series. And then multiple reports came out about him faking a COVID exposure and just so much that makes it look more realistic that he just is who he is. And he says it over and over. And in this press conference, he just wants to get back to being who he is. He doesn't want to get better. And so we did give him what he wants. His game fits best with the Nets because he doesn't have to ever learn how to play offense. Play make, push the ball, play defense, and then when in doubt, it's open, go to the rim a little bit, which I always said if he went to the rim with an attack ability, he would be good even without a jump shot. I rode with Simmons all the way up until the All-Star game of last year. Last year's All-Star game, not this season, of course. Last year's All-Star game when he was averaging almost 18, got the All-Star vote, then he went down to 10 for the rest of the way. And you just saw his game. His aggressiveness turned off. Last but not least, they ask him, why do you think it went so bad for you? And look what he says again. Throws out the accountability on this one. Listen to it.
following up on the Philly stuff, why do you think it got so bad there?
If I knew, I would tell you everything. But there's just a lot of things internally that, had to happen over time. And it just got to a place where I don't think it was good for me mentally. So, it is what it is. It happened and moving forward. So.
But that is the truth. Mentally, you can say it was. But if it was a real mental problem, you don't just get traded to another city and boom. You were mentally not ready to play for Philly because you mentally gave up on us, physically and mentally gave up on us. But for you to have a legit problem, you would think you'd go through some type of counseling and whatnot with the Brooklyn Nets and not just be so free in the fact that, like, I can be on the sidelines just chilling with my teammates and ready to go to work. Look, at the end of the day, it's over. But have not being able to hear anything from this guy for 240 days as a Sixer fan who supported him for almost 4.5 years, who bought paraphernalia and who always said, yeah, a jump shot will look nice, even though he did it for fun in our faces and never did it in the game for us. I was upset with that. But I said, even minus the jump shot, if he just turns that switch on, his aggressive switch, going to the hole, playmaking, pushing the ball, assisting the ball, and playing defense still was kind of enough. But when he quit, when it fully showed, All-Star voting matters, 18 points per game. I got the All-Star, I'll go back to 9 to 12 points a game. And he even picked his spots differently. Looked like he let this team down. And from that moment on, I was off 2-5. With all that being said, this is the last time I'm talking about him until he plays against us and we talk about the actual game of basketball. It is what it is. He's a Brooklyn Net. James Harden is a Philadelphia 76ers. Most likely we will be seeing this team in the playoffs. First round, second round, I don't know. We're going to get there. It's up to them to get there, whether they can stay healthy or not. Oh, James Harden also said that hamstring is feeling mighty, mighty fine, and we going to turn up after the All-Star break. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section when it comes to Ben Simmons. Also, the more important one, James Harden, number one for the Philadelphia 76ers. Let me know your thoughts on that. Trying to get this down. With that being said, if you haven't done it already, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new, and also ding that notification bell. We won't do the play-by-play today, but we will be back on Thursday. We out.